Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video I'm going to do the character review for Quaetro. I will start releasing some character reviews of units that are higher up in the tier list, so like A+ and above, and I'm going to focus on units that were buffed by the revolution system, and also like units that are at the really top of the rankings that I never covered with a dedicated video. And the first unit that I'm going to bring today is, again, as we saw, Quaetro. The reason being, this guy is actually a really solid DPS, so I think it really deserves to be talked about. And I wanted to share with you guys some clears that you might have already seen one in the shorts for sure, but I will share more clears with him in this video. And I'm going to go over the usual stuff. So I'm going to talk about how good this unit is, the skills, exclusive equipment, gear, ignition weapon, rapport, revolution, and then finally the showcase. And yeah, I will start with the first point. So how good this unit is really good only if you have him revolution 5. Before then, it's just the usual useless Quaetro. So not much to it. You really need that revolution 5. So if you want to go with this unit, be prepared for that kind of investment. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I will say. We can just have a look at the skills. They're going to be pretty simple because the initial skills of all the units are really basic in general, so it won't take much time, I hope. The passive is pretty interesting. Whenever Quaetro hits enemies with the skills, they're going to be burned, and their HP recovery is going to be decreased by 50% for 5 seconds. And the burn targets are going to take 80% of his attack as damage every second. Pretty cool. Then we have the revolution effect, the revolution 4, I believe, yes. Decrease damage taken by 20% per enemy inflicted with burn. Pretty good damage decrease, and actually I think this saved my Quaetro quite a lot of times, so really good survivability addition here, really like it. And that's it for the passive, really, there is nothing else to it. Then we have the first active skill. This is also super basic and really bad, I would say, but okay. We have Quaetro shoots flames forward, dealing 120% of his attack as damage every 0.5 seconds for 3 seconds to enemies in a fan-shaped area. I don't really like this skill, it's pretty much useless. You really want him to only spam the special move, but it is what it is. Then we have the second active skill. This one is a bit better. Again, there is not much to it, but basically what happens here is going to create a barrier equal to 80% of his max HP, which is pretty big, for 7 seconds, and is going to spawn a ring of fire. Enemies that are touched by this ring take 120% of his attack as damage every second, and the attack of Quaetro is going to be increased by 80% while the ring of fire is active. So an attack increase in the kit, pretty good one, and it lasts for 7 seconds. I would say really solid buff. Then we have the special move. This one is also pretty simple. Quaetro is going to drop 7 fireballs over an area. This area is not big, so that's a good thing because you don't really want too much RNG. But the thing is, the damage they deal is irrelevant. Like each dealing 200% of his attack as damage to enemies and jolting them. I don't really like the jolting part, but that's fine. It's fine against most enemies, but again, not to work. Really annoying, really annoying. Fireballs are guaranteed to result in crit hits when targets are struck multiple times. So the first one might not crit, but the second one will. And crit damage increase by 20% with each consecutive hit. Pretty good. Quaetro becomes immune to status effects while using this skill. Now this special move is not too bad, but the damage is super low. The fireballs are too random over the area, really bad. But we have the revolution. Revolution 5 doubles the size of the fireballs and increases the attack coefficient by 500%. Now we will have 7 fireballs, double the size, which is all the area basically, which is pretty cool. And each of them are going to deal 700% attack as damage, 4900% attack as damage with guaranteed crit hits and increase in crit damage. I will say really, really insane. So yeah, that's the kit. We can head over to the exclusive equipment, I would say. So if we look at the exclusive equipment, we have Quaetro's attack increases by 10% every time an active skill is used. 3 stacks. 20% with the level 2 per stack, so this is an additional 60% attack increase. Not too bad, I would say. Definitely we saw way worse exclusive equipment. He's going to recover 15% of the damage dealt to enemies with his special move. Usually I don't really care too much about these kind of effects, but in his case is really beneficial. So super plus, really good, level 3 as well. And level 4 is a bit overkill from my point of view, but yeah, it's just increasing the heal to a 30% of the damage dealt. And the additional stat here, crit damage increase, definitely super good. So overall, the exclusive equipment is also a really solid one. You won't need the plus 30 immediately. You can wait it out a bit. It's fine with just level 3. But I mean, he's a DPS. You kind of want to invest as much as possible. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the exclusive equipment. If you look at the gear, your priorities are going to be the resistances to stay alive, the crit rate and crit damage, mainly for the 39% crit damage, pretty good, and then the accuracy. Accuracy again is only needed if you cannot hit. I think I kind of have to change this, because this one pretty much useless, to be honest. You don't really even need to increase it, but I guess it's nice to have. Eventually you will get that. This one is probably more important than the accuracy, so let me change it like this. Okay, makes more sense. But yeah, definitely at mandatory level, you don't give a shit, because this guy sucks. At 3 red is going to be so bad, you don't really want to upgrade anything, really shit. With the second one, you kind of want to level them all up. All these 3 at least to plus 4. And yeah, for nice to have, just upgrade them all. It will be fine. And that's about it for the gear. If you look at the ignition weapon here, I don't have anything equipped right now, because there is Hell Train Arena at the moment that I don't run him in any team. So I don't have any spare stuff to give him. But what I ran on him was this Sela with resistances in both slots. And I will say that the damage was still fine. So I had this slot 4 and this slot 5. The damage is still okay with all the sub nodes. With all the substats and the origin orb, I got to like 40% magic pierce with this resistance set. And I didn't have, well, actually, let me just keep it real quick. Doesn't matter if I will lose some positions, it's fine. As you can see here, I have 44% magic pierce, and my physical resistance is not even capped. This is not a big problem because this is a Sela, so I get the additional 30%, but as the fight goes on, I will kind of be a bit squishy with the current resistances I have, because this set is not tailored for a mage, but I used it anyway. And the stuff I recommend here on my spreadsheet is to go with magic resistance slot 4 and slot 5 magic pierce. Now, to be honest, due to the fact that this guy is an intelligence unit, or just in general, like we get a shit ton of magic resistance from the 3 essence, we don't really need to run this, to be honest. You can run crit damage, but this one is a bit more important. So physical resistance would be better if you are really struggling with survivability. With the right team, you can run magic pierce, I will say, but probably physical resistance would be a better option. And the damage is not lacking. We're going to see it in a second. So my setup would probably be crit damage and physical resistance. It is a bit weird, but I think that would make sense, because you really crit a shit ton, and the pierce, is fine, but not really too needed, I would say. It really needs to stay alive. That's the first priority. But it will also depend on who you pair him with, for sure. So we're going to go over that also when we look at the showcase, I would say. And the set you want to run on him, I would say, is mainly Sela, because we don't really have a good set in general. Idea was good, but I think now with the new units, with Anak and Garam, and maybe even Array, we don't really need to. We have a lot of ways to regen energy. Idea might be a bit overkill. So I would rather go with Sela to have the additional survivability, which is going to be really, really important. And that's about it, I would say, for the ignition weapon. If we look at Rapport, very easy. This guy's main DPS, and not many units are going to use the camping tent anyway. So you will want to get him to level 6. And now we can go over the revolution, even though I already talked about it. But as you can see, I have nothing on him. I will say accuracy, if needed, could be okay. Some additional swiftness could be okay. 10 swiftness is a good increase. Then we have effect hit. Okay, but not too important. Attack increase of 30% is nothing too great, and a crit damage increase is nice, is an additional 23%. Again, a small amount, but pretty cool. Special move Pierce is only 15.8%, but definitely is going to be pretty impactful as well. So you could do some investment, but I will say T5 is already fine. You don't really need any kind of investment. And yeah, I will say we can just head over to the adventure to see replay of a previous fight. I think I used them at the start of floor 91, should be around, let me check, 91.8 or something. Yes, this fight here. Now the team I used here is a bit too OP, I would say. We have Anak to keep him alive, we have Nare to keep him alive, we have Garam that also helps keeping him alive and also providing the additional special move Pierce, which is pretty important, and Karaka, Revolution 4 for the grouping. So the team is a bit strong, but as you can see also the enemy isn't too bad. So we'll see how the fight goes. And we will also see that, okay, this is the special move. As you can see, like the area, like the meteors are covering the whole area. So it's pretty insane. Then we have a lot of energy regen thanks to Anak, but unfortunately Anak died immediately. So we kind of lost our source of invincibility, even though we still have an array that's helping out, as we can see here. So yeah, the damage really absurd. He keeps on spamming, even though we don't have an arc anymore. And again, damage really, really good. This was justified. We're going to look at a couple more, I will say. But the damage potential is super high. His survivability, even after Anak died, was still there. So yeah, definitely a really good unit. This is the exact same composition. And we can see that this time the enemy team is a bit more annoying. We have a Blank against us, we have an Awakened Rack against us, and the other three don't really matter, but those two super annoying units. So we're going to see how the fight this time is going to play out. It's going to be pretty similar, I will say. It's just going to stand there, cast the special move. The first ones never deal damage. I think it just needs to stack up some buffing from Nare and some buffing from Garam as well. So he's being really heavily buffed, but as we can see, Anak dies super quickly. She's not too tanky, to be honest. But yeah, he's still there in the middle, casting special moves, dealing damage, and it doesn't seem like he's killing anyone. Now we also lost Karaka, but he's still there in the middle. This is all thanks to the Revolution 4. He's taking no fucking damage, and the damage he takes is going to heal back with his special move. So pretty dope. He's taking an Evankel special move in the face and still not dying. And you can see here Nare was ulting herself because she ults the lowest HP ally, which is always her. Like, look, this time her special move was on her, and Quaetro is still in there, tanking. Really insane. Really, really insane, guys. I don't know why is this busted, but really, really insane. I think we have one last to look at. Probably this was the one that I uploaded. No, yeah, this one was the one I uploaded as a short. Let's see if this 9056 was any better. I used Leroro instead of Nare, but the other two units, like the other three units, are the same. This enemy composition, there is a Kiseiya, there is again an Awakened Rock, which is a pretty annoying unit to deal with, but Quaetro kills him fairly well. We also have a Ghost against us, and that guy recovers HP whenever he's critted on, and we have Quaetro that almost always crits. So this is pretty interesting, but we also have Quaetro that halves the heals that the enemy takes. And look at also the fact that Awakened Rock got destroyed. Usually that guy doesn't even take damage when he has the shield on, so for 20 seconds he's almost unkillable. But in this case, Quaetro just dealt so much damage that he also went over the 30% HP of Awakened Rock in a single hit, which is pretty amazing, I will say. Look how many buffs he has. Really stupid. So yeah, Quaetro, I will say, is a pretty insane unit when invested on. He might deserve an higher ranking, could be, but the thing is, I'm currently running him on really like heavily invested teams. I might not need to run a Karaka, to be totally honest, but and also Anak kind of helps at the beginning, but as soon as this guy just casts the first special move, the Revolution 4 is going to keep him alive. So you don't really even need that crazy of a team, because you also saw, like, during the fight, some units died in the previous ones. Anak always died, Karaka died in one of them, and Nare was ulting herself in another one. So in general, like, it was really mainly supported by Garam, and they're a really good pair. So super good unit. Definitely one to think about when you want to build a blue team. The only issue is that we have Kaiser in the blue team, and Kaiser is definitely a lot better than Quaetro, but you can always build him as a secondary unit for a second blue team. Definitely a really solid unit. So yeah, that's pretty much my review for him. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and if you like the video, please drop a like and subscribe to my channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!